All right, family. Live in the flesh. You already know what it is. Chauncey, GMOGmedia TV. Back at y'all with another one. Real quick, man. I just want to talk about again ADOS, American Descendants of Slavery. I want to really address some things that I've been watching. I observe things. And I really don't want to speak on things unless I have the proper information to disseminate to the people. You know what I'm saying? Some damn alarm clock is kind of annoying me. Oh, hold on 1 second, guys. 1 second. Okay. So, I want to talk about the American Descendants of Slavery and who is entitled to reparation payments. Who is entitled to it? I thought it was clear that if you go to ADOS101.com, it explains to you, at least from my interpretation, right, is that if you are classified as Black or African American, right, and born in the United States, right, and you can trace your lineage back to Africa, and that your ancestors, whether it be on the paternal or maternal side of your ancestry, were enslaved, right, by our oppressors, the Europeans, the troglodytes. If you can trace that back and your ancestors were enslaved, you are an American descendant of slavery. You are entitled to reparations. That's what I got out of, ADOS 101. So it doesn't include African immigrants. So if you were born in Nigeria, Zimbabwe, whatever the case may be, and you willingly went to the United States to live, you're not entitled to reparation payments. If you were born in Jamaica, right, and you willingly went to the United States. When I use the word willingly, meaning that you weren't forced, you weren't uprooted, right? Like chattel slavery. You weren't forced to go from one continent or one area to another, right? Like antebellum slavery. That's what I'm talking about. So if you're an immigrant that was born in the Caribbean or one of the African countries, you're not entitled to reparation payments. That's from my understanding, and I agree with that. Here's the reason why I agree with that, because guess what? And I watched a couple of videos about other folks talking about reparations, including Dr. Umar Johnson, who had his take on the ADOS movement and stuff like that, and I'll give my opinion on what he said as well. But just to prove a point here, I agree with the fact that African immigrants, Caribbean immigrants who willingly went to the United States are not allowed to get reparation payments. I agree with that. Here's the reason why. Because some of you may not know that the Caribbean, Jamaica, Bahamas, etc., right? The British, they actually had a reparations lawsuit for Great Britain. And basically they're going to actually pay, if not they have already paid, Great Britain has already paid the Caribbean islands an amount of $200 million. And this article is from November 26th of last year. Now the point I'm trying to make is that the Caribbean islands, right, they've already made a document for reparations from the transatlantic slave trade due to the atrocities of the transatlantic slave trade, where our African brothers and sisters were uprooted from Africa and migrated over to the Caribbean islands before they went to the New World, which is the United States of America, right? But this particular proposal for reparations did not include the ADOS movement. It did not include people classified as Black or African American who were born in the U.S. who have ancestors that were enslaved. They did not include us. And rightfully so. This is for the Caribbean. So this is a document, again, from 2018, where it says Glasgow University to pay reparations of $200 million extracted from region. Vice Chancellor of University of West Indies, Sir Hilary Belkis, has reported that the University of Glasgow in the United Kingdom is planning to pay reparations of $200 million, approximately $34 billion taken from the Caribbean, according to Beckles, who recently returned from the UK and the University of Glasgow, that recognized that Jamaican slave owners had adopted the University of Glasgow as their university of choice, and that $200 million of value has extracted from Jamaica and the Caribbean. I gotta stop this annoying clock. Hold on. I don't know why this thing keeps going off. But yeah, the point, like I said, the point I was trying to make is that these guys got reparations, but they did not include the ADOS movement. Okay? So we're doing the same. American Descendants of Slavery, we are seeking reparations for the atrocities, right? And the just the overall conditions in the state that black society is in today due to the transatlantic slave trade, due to our ancestors being enslaved. We want our payment. So this affects all diasporas all over the world. See, again, white supremacy is a global phenomenon. So this affects Caribbean islands, the United States. This affects Brazil. This affects basically anybody that has melanin. Even the folks in North Sentinel Island. Those folks have not been colonized by white supremacy. They're trying to. You got these so-called, Christian evangelicals trying to go to the island and colonize them with some goddamn white Jesus, some white deity, which they don't know nothing about, but they got to the island, right? They're on an island and they have melanin, right? So my point is that this affects everybody who has melanin globally. We are just talking about American descendants of slavery. If you're born in the U.S. and classified as African American or black, and you can trace your lineage back to Africa and your ancestors were enslaved, you are entitled to reparation payments. Just that simple. Just that simple. And so, Dr. Umar Johnson had talked about, I saw his video where he talked about he talked about three things. The third thing I want to touch upon, he said that reparations, the ADOS movement only deals with white supremacy domestically. You can't eradicate white supremacy domestically or regionally. He said, I think his words were, you can't eradicate white supremacy regionally, and the fact that the reparations is only dealing with American descendants of slavery, not African immigrants. And again, like I mentioned to you before, we'll keep that same energy for the Caribbean reparation payments, because they didn't include, since you're worried about Pan-Africanism and it's a global phenomenon, which I agree, the Caribbean reparation movement did not include ADOS. They kept it domestically. So that ideology is debunked right there. They got their money, right? And they kept it domestic. They kept it with the Caribbean islands, right? So keep that same energy for these islands in the Caribbean who already are about to get their reparations, but did not include American descendants of slavery, right? And I just want to leave you guys with this, right? This is a website that I saved. It's no longer available online. They removed it, but History of Reparation Payments. And you see how I always talk about, well, the Japanese community, the Jewish community, the Native American community got their reparations. Well, here is exactly what they got. 1990 USA. Japanese Americans got 1.2 billion or $20,000 each. 1990 Austria. Jewish claims on Austria, 25 million to Holocaust survivors. 1988 Canada. Indians and Eskimos, they got land. 250,000 square feet, miles of land. 1988 Canada. Japanese Canadians, $230 million. 1986 Ottawa's Michigan, $32 million 1836 treaty. Chippewas of Wisconsin, I guess that's how you pronounce it. 1985, $31 million. Okay, more Native Americans. Seminoles of Florida, $12.3 million, 1985. Sioux of South Dakota, $105 million, 1985. More Native Americans. Clathus of Oregon, $81 million from 1980. More Native Americans, $1 billion, 44 million acres of land, 1971, USA. And German Jewish settlement, 822 million to Holocaust survivors, 1952. Hey, ADOS is going to be here next. And we're going to get, we're going to blow these guys out the water in terms of how much we're going to get all together. You know, the highest value here is 1 billion. We're going to quadruple that. It's going to be the most money for atrocity survivors or descendants of slaves in history. So we're going to make that list. So I just wanted to make this quick video, man, just to talk about some things I came across regarding the American Descendants of Slavery and who is entitled to reparation payments and who is not entitled to reparation payments. So just wanted to make this quick video, family. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section, family. Till next time, Chauncey, make sure you follow me on Instagram at GMOGMediaTV. I also have another YouTube channel. I'll just basically talk about fashion, and I promote a lot of black independent fashion brands and labels like this right here, Melanin King. You know what I'm saying? This is from Melanin Apparel. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to them. So everything black owned, you know what I'm saying? Black designers. That's what I promote. So, all right, family. So anyway, Chauncey, GMOGMediaTV signing out.